not come on time. I could not meet up. Yes, I know I'm late. So this is how we're just going to be doing it. We're going to be streaming live like this, and so just make sure you follow if you happen to watch this video after the live stream. Okay, and so we just want to talk about how to study effectively as a student. Okay, this is just what the show is just about. How to study effectively as a student. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. Okay, so how to study effectively as a student, like how do I study effectively and how can you study effectively? That should be the question right now in this show, and that's what we are going to talk about. Okay, so number one thing you should do, and for famous soft food drink, we are not talking about it because and recently added some ingredients to the soft drink, and it's really, really fantastic. It tastes well, but we still have to improve on the taste because, like, if you watch the recent shots on the famous soft fruit drink, man, I could not drink it like satisfactorily, and like before. So like we're still working on it. Okay, let's just take it that way. Never mind, we're always going to give updates through. Okay, so sorry for that. Effectively as a student. Okay, and okay, so the first thing you have to do is, number one thing you do is you stay away from your books. This is a weird advice, but it can really help you. It can really help you massively. You stay away from your books. Like, how often do you touch your books? How often do you go to your books? You see some students, they go to school. Okay, in over here in Nigeria, you call it university. Over there in the US, maybe they call it college or whatsoever. But over here, higher education, some people, they go to school, and when they come back, they don't really recall as they should, as people expect them to. Why? Because of how they really studied there. Many people think when it comes to education, they think the person who works harder will succeed, but the answer, if you really look into it, that is the direct opposite. Those who succeed in school really don't work hard. They work smarter. Okay, they work smarter. That's just what they do. So how do you very weird advice that can really, really change your life if you're a student? So one thing, stay away from your books. Don't just resort to your books like too quickly. Okay, let it be rather quickly. Like, don't just do, okay, for instance, you cannot, you find yourself not being able to recall something. Many of you will say, okay, I want to just check my book, but that is the strangest secret. Whenever you find it hard for you to recall anything, don't check your books. Okay, rather what you do is you stay with yourself. Try to recall the thing. Try to recall the nearest object to that thing. Just try to do that. For the first attempt, it's going to be hard. The first time, you may not even recall the thing. Just leave it like that. Leave it, let it go. Okay, but when you do it the second time, you may not even recall it. But if you try this process, if you repeat this process, okay, I give you 10 times, just try it for 10 good times, you will find yourself easily recalling anything. It could be something that happened 3 years ago, it could be something you learned 3 years ago, it could be a formula you learned 3 years ago. But if you practice this thing I'm telling you right now, you see yourself being able to recall formulas you learned 3 good years ago. Okay, so if you apply this into your life, it's going to really change your life. So the reason why many students, I find school very, very hard, is because they've not really taught themselves how to do it. That's what we're learning here right now. Whenever you forget anything, don't just resort to your book. Don't just go to your books, okay, for the information. No, stay away from it. Okay, that is it. Stay away from until you recall it. Stay away from it. Okay, research has shown that if you just open your books with that purpose, you will not learn anything. Number one. And number two, research has also shown that if you read when you are sad, you're tired of life, you are not going to learn anything. So all these emotions you should also watch all these emotions too. Whenever you're sad, broken, don't just open your book. It's going to be wasted time. Number one, you should read whenever you're happy, blissful, and whenever there is a purpose for it. Like, there is an example. you watch TV all the time, right? You watch the news, Al Jazeera all the time, right? But can you tell me what exactly happened in the previous TV you watched? You may not recall. Why? Because if you are happy, you are in a good mood, you could recall, right? That's why emotions play a very, very good role in learning. So that's why you must make sure you learn when you are happy, you are in the moment, you are present. That's the best time to read. So whenever you want to read as a student, make sure you are in the moment. Make sure you love what you are doing. Make sure you are present. Okay, that's something that's going to really assist the learning process. And don't just resort to your book whenever you forget anything. Whenever you need help, stay away from it. Get your pen. Most times, I don't even advise students getting their pen. I advise doing everything in your head. Write the formulas in your head. Try to recall them in your head. Okay, try to derive new formulas in your head. Then after that, you use your pen. That's going to really, really help you. Okay, this is how to do it. This is how to study effectively. Okay, whenever you try forgetting anything, don't resort to your books easily. Stay with yourself. Do everything in your head. Do little paperwork. It's going to really, really help you. Okay, that's how to study effectively as a friend. Then, as a student, then make sure you study when you are in the moment. Your emotions guide against this okay, guide against them. Like stress is a chemical, cortisol. Whenever jealousy is there, anger, frustration, cortisol is on the increase in the blood. So that's why they said anger, jealousy, fear, all those stuff are derived from the hormones of stress, because whenever all these things are present, cortisol is on the increase. So make sure you guide against the hormones of stress. The hormones of stress will shut down the immune system. According to neuroscience, it tells us that we have stress hormones, cortisol, can shut down the immune system. Okay, so you should also understand this shut down, then you're not in the moment. Your body does not believe it is safe. That's why it shut down the immune system. So how can you read and study and understand if you feel you are not safe? If your inner body feels it is not safe. So make sure your body feels it is safe. Then open your books. Make sure you are happy. You are having a good moment at that time. Then you read. Whenever you forget anything, don't just resort to your books. It's never going to be good on your brain. Okay, stay with yourself. Do the math work in your head. Solve things in your head. Practice it. At first attempt, like it's gonna look like speaking and learning Arabic at first. But when you do it first, when you repeat the process, it's gonna look like you're learning to speak English. Okay, and you already know English. That's just how it's gonna look like. Just repeat these things right now that you have learned, that I have taught you. Stay away from your books. Don't just resort to your books easily. Rather often, then make sure you also you watch your emotions, guide against stress, hormones of stress. Check very well. Most students are always in these stress hormones. So how would you do well in school? How how would you do well? You have to work on all these things. How do you work on them? Mental. Like these thoughts you see can reactions in your body. So you have to watch what you put in your head too. It's also a factor. Okay, so if you guide against all these negative things that I've talked about, you will have only positive things yeah, being manifested in your life. So and when you read, so that is just what it is. So don't just check your books. That's one thing you should guide against. Don't just check your books. Make sure you try and do the work in your head. Try to recall things, and also understand these facts about your brain. Before we call it quits for this show, we might have episode 2, but just understand these facts about your brain. Your brain also is trying as much as it can to get rid of irrelevant things. That's one thing you should know. So not everything should be recalled in your head. Don't try to recall everything. Okay, it's going to be stress to your brain. Don't try to recall everything. Okay, that is another thing you should also guide against. Your brain will always want to cut down irrelevant things. That just understand that. Don't try to recall everything. Intentionally forget some things. Okay, understand that path. Then another thing again, I think we'll have episode 2 of this show, because another thing again I want to share with you before I call it quits right now is this. Whenever you're studying a book, know that the entire book is just trying to explain one idea. Okay, one chapter in a book you read is just trying to explain one idea. Usually in physics, motion is just trying to explain one idea. Force is just trying to explain an idea. Understand it? But many people, many students, they forget that, hey, this thing is trying to explain an idea. Rather, students just like read the book as if the letters is what you eat, is what the person wants you to just put into your head. Nope. That's why even the Bible should just say the letter kill it. Okay? Like the letter kill it. It's not the words there you are reading, it's the idea that the person used writing to communicate to you. So if you can get the ideas finished, the words are useless. You may be reading one chapter consisting of 50 pages, but it may just be to explain a single idea, like motion is movement. But when you check your books, you will see different chapters talking about this and that. But in the real sense, they're just talking about one thing. Motion is movement in the eyes of time. Period. So whenever you're studying, let to understand that it is just an idea the person is trying to pass to you. So whenever you're studying, try to get the idea the person is trying to pass to you, and try to be creative around that idea. So that, because when you give a unique definition to the idea the person is trying to communicate to you, it stores up in your brain faster. So understand that. Okay, so why? Because when you're trying to give a unique definition, you will usually define it with words that are familiar with you, that you're familiar to, and with things that you will usually use terms that you can easily recall. So whenever they ask you, okay, what is this thing, okay, you easily retrieve those information quicker, because they're already part of you, and you use them in the definition. So that is how to study effectively too. So make sure you understand that when you are reading your book, it's just an idea somebody is trying to tell you, somebody trying to communicate to you. So try to get the main idea. The rest things are useless. Understand that part. So that is how to study effectively. I believe you enjoyed this show. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Like and share this video. Until next time, stay connected.